everyone. It's time for another divorcedmoms.com live divorce coaching session. I'm Cathy Meyer, Master Certified Divorce Coach, and I am glad to see you here. Do me a favor, if you have a comment about anything we're discussing tonight, leave it in the comments section. If you have a question, leave that in the comments section also. I'm watching and will try my best to address everything. I thought tonight we would talk about how to maintain a positive attitude. You know, I think going into the new year, what could be more important than facing a new year with a positive attitude? And I know it's challenging to think positively when you're going through a divorce or you're recovering from divorce and moving on, rebuilding your life. But here's the thing. It's that very time that it's most important that you remain hopeful and positive. So I think it's an important issue to discuss. But when I say positive or positivity, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy all the time. It doesn't mean that suddenly life is going to be great. There is not, a positive attitude and adopting positivity is not going to magically shoo all the adversity out of your life. What it does mean is remaining hopeful and choosing to be hopeful regardless of what's going on in your life. The good thing about positivity is it builds resilience. You prove to yourself when adversity comes up, if you have adopted a positive frame of mind about it, you have proven to yourself that you can survive adversity, building resilience. What else? Bottom line, positivity is the belief that whatever is going on in your mind, things will turn out okay. And if you look back on your life, you have proof of that already. There isn't any of us that have not had horrible experiences, sad experiences that broke our heart, but we survived. And if you adopt a positive frame of mind, survival is easier. Survival is quicker. You work through it faster. So I've got four things I want to talk to you about. I found these tips online on a website. They were written by John Gordon. He wrote a book called Coffee Bean, a simple lesson to create a positive change. I've read the book. If you haven't, you should read it. Oh, and John Gordon has also written many, many other books, so check him out and thank him for these tips. Okay, let's get started. Number one, and I'm reading these because no way could I memorize it. No way. Number one, talk to yourself instead of listening to yourself. When I read this the other day, I was like, how much sense does that make? I mean, I spend a lot of time listening to myself, very little time talking to myself. Or if I'm talking to myself, it's about my latest fantasy or what I want for dinner. It's not about substantial stuff. But it says, instead of listening to your complaints and fears, talk to yourself with words of hope and encouragement. Let me give you an example from my life. I had a couple of videos ago, the video received 27,000 views. And instead of looking at that as a positive thing, I worked myself up to thinking, 27,000 people have watched me. And I've got filled with anxiety. I was telling myself, oh, I need to color my hair. I need to get plastic surgery. Instead of saying, wait a minute, what you did was so good that it drew the attention of 27,000 people. See? Stop listening to myself, start talking to myself. Raise your hand if you have an issue with that. Number 2, don't waste precious energy on gossip, energy vampires, issues of the past. Negative thoughts are things you can't control. Guilty. Less guilty these days. I had a girlfriend, one of the most negative human beings I've ever known. And my tendency was to want to help her, to give her advice. And I finally came to realize after she told me, I don't want your opinions. I don't want your help. I just want you to listen. And I couldn't listen anymore because there was never a pleasant conversation. It was me saying yes and no to her complete and constant whining. So the friendship ended. And it's, I miss her because I loved her, but it's cleared my mind of so many cobwebs. I don't go to bed at night worrying about her life. I go to bed at night thinking about my life or my 2-year-old granddaughter. So keep that in mind. Stay away from people who are going to suck your energy. Stay away from negative thinking. Stay away from thinking you can control things that you can't control. If you have an ex-husband who has a revolving door of girlfriends that he's introducing to your children, you can't control it unless you wrote in your divorce decree that he can't introduce women friends to his children. You can't control it, so don't fret over it. Just be there for your children. Okie dokie. Number 3, look for opportunities to love, serve, and care. You don't have to be great to serve, but you have to serve to be great. And that's true. If we all spent more time thinking about how can I show my children more love? How can I show my mother, my sister, my neighbor more love? Who needs something from me? And I don't necessarily mean donating money or giving people money, but if it's nothing but walking across the street to your neighbor and saying, I just wanted to come and check on you. When you walk back across the street to your home, your neighbor's going to feel better and you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like you did something for someone. And there's no better feeling in the world. And the more we do for others, we have to do for ourselves and we do for others. But the more we do for others, the better we are as people. So when it says you have to serve to be great, it's spot on. Number 4, don't seek happiness. Instead, live with love and purpose, and happiness will find you. When I read this, I thought of the women I have been acquainted with who were in new relationships before they were even divorced. They feared being alone. They thought that being in love, being attached to a man or a woman, someone else, was the key to happiness, and it's not. You can't go seeking happiness, whether you think it's money that's going to make you happy, your children dressed, the hair combed, matching shoes, matching t-shirt and skirt. That's not going to make you happy, and it's going to make your children miserable. So stop. But the more you can find to do in your life that makes you contented, hopeful, and happy, the more happiness you're going to have. I see 8 people viewing and no one's commenting. So, but I really don't have anything else to talk to you about tonight. I wish that I had someone communicating with me and we could bounce some ideas off of each other. But I really want to tell you that you're going to have we're going into a new year, we're going into a new decade. You're going to have a much better year and a much better decade if you can cultivate that ability to think positively, to live a life that's full of positivity. I hope you're able to do that. I have found that it works for me, although I've got a lot of work to do on not wringing my hands every once in a while and feeling like I'm stuck and mired in it, but I work my way out of it, and you can too. Just remain hopeful. The key is, whatever's going on in my life, everything will be okay. Because if there's one thing you've learned in life, it's that regardless of what happens, everything does eventually go right again. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks for watching. I will see you again in 2 weeks with another Divorced Moms live divorce coaching session. Have a good night. Bye-bye.